Hi everyone, it's Kim and I'm really excited to bring you this video today. I've been talking about doing this for a while, so today is the day. I'm going to give you my top 15 favorite shopping hacks for when you go to a gem show. You know when you go into a gem show and it's like, oh my god, crystals! 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 Okay, so I'm going to give you some of my favorite tips on things I do when I go shopping. So I hope this helps. So here you go. Number one, make a list. You want to make sure you have some kind of list. What is it that you're looking to get? What are your needs? What are your interests? What do you think you want when you go shopping? You want to kind of have some idea. All right. So have some kind of list so that you're somewhat prepared when you enter this vast field of crystals. Because if you don't make a list, you might end up getting everything. I'll take one of these, and I'll take one of these. Oh, and I want one of these. Oh, heck, I'll just take this whole damn thing. You know what? I'm just gonna take this whole thing. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have a list. Number two, rip up the list. That's right, because when you get there, none of that will matter because you just get all crazy in the crystal land. So, true story though. I will make a list, and when I get there, I'm like, yeah, okay. And I'll be lucky if I get one or two things off my list because I end up just going with the Kim tuition and getting what I feel at the time I need. Number three, you do want to do research before you go, especially if you're looking for something that might be very expensive or something that's often faked on the market, such as a moldavite, for example. Amber, you want to make sure you're getting amber, instead of copal, things like that. So if you're going with the intention of getting something that's a little bit more costly or something that is commonly faked, you do want to look that up and be prepared so that you know what to look for when you're looking for those particular items. Number four, things that I think you should bring with you. Bring some kind of ID equipment, identification equipment. Now, I know it's kind of geo-geeky or whatever, but sometimes you do need some of your equipment just to check things out, especially, again, if you're looking for something particular that is often faked. You kind of want to know what you're looking for. It's kind of hard. I mean, you're not going to be doing a scratch test on this really ginormous piece of lapis. Like, oh, I want to make sure it's lapis and not sodalite. Here, let me just scratch this, and it's like this ginormous piece, and you don't want to be, doing the scratch test. So you can't really do that. You can't damage crystals. You can't be like, hey, let me test out your amber. I have this hot needle here. Let me just stick my needle in your amber and see if it smells like pine. You can't do that kind of stuff. But you can bring a magnifying glass. Get a closer look at some of those babies. Magnifying glass can help you look for inclusions or help you see if something is dyed or if it's been cracked and kind of glued together. It can help you in cases like that. If you're really into it, you can bring, if you have, then you can get these pretty inexpensive, but if you have a jeweler's loupe, you can also do that. Okay, if you're looking, again, this would help you identify some kind of minerals and crystals. If you're into that kind of thing. It may not be, so that's okay. You don't have to bring it. I do recommend you bring some kind of magnifying glass. It really does help you, especially if you're looking for something like record keepers or time links or whatever. You're looking for certain kind of inclusions, chloride inclusions or something. It really helps you with that. Another thing you want to bring with you, and lesson learned on this one, you want to bring some kind of sticky notes or something sticky. A label, something you could stick, okay? Because when you buy your crystals, you want to be able to put that sticker on there so that you remember what it is, okay? Not everything you buy is going to be marked. Sometimes you get it and it's in a cute little box and it has the name on it and the location, and that's awesome. Yay, you don't have to worry about the little sticker. But that's usually not the case, and so you want to make sure you put some kind of label on it so that you know what it is when you get home, because by the time you get home, you're all crystalled out. Okay, so bring some kind of sticker, something to stick on there. Bring a pen, bring more than one pen, 2, 3 maybe, and bring some paper. Very important, trust me, because you want to be able to write that stuff down and remember later. Bring some kind of bag or cart, depending. I mean, are you going to look for just 1 or 2 small items? It'll just fit in your purse. or your pocket. But if you're looking to kind of cash in and get some bigger pieces and things, you might want to have some kind of rolly cart or a wagon or a knapsack. Keep in mind, if you have something really large like a knapsack on your back, it's really hard to shop because there's so many people and your bag, you're bumping up against people and whatever, and you don't want to be doing that with your big ass, thing on your back. Okay, so be really cautious of that. It's very hard to maneuver down some of those aisles and stuff when you're looking for crystals. A lot of the vendors will allow you to have your cart over to the side. So if you are going and you're buying a lot of things, little like some kind of like rolly cart is often good, like luggage, some kind of like something that you would bring on the plane, with wheels. You could always do something like that, or a filing case or something on wheels. Whatever, it depends on what you're looking to do, how much you're looking to get. But keep in mind that, you do want to have something when you're going shopping to carry your crystal babies home, and you want to make sure that they're safe. Some vendors will wrap them up really, really well for you, and others won't. So you could always bring some kind of bubble wrap or extra paper or something like that so that you can wrap them up yourself to make sure your crystal babies are safe. Depends, again, what you're looking to get and if it's something that you need to wrap up or whatever. Just keep that in mind, okay? I bring all kinds of stuff. I have this like big old cart that I bring with me, I bring extra boxes and whatnot. Number 5, very important. Stay grounded when you're doing this shopping. Holy crystal buzz, Batman. If you're sensitive to energies like I am, it's really important to stay grounded because you can get seriously very, very ill and just totally out there. And by the time you're done shopping, you could feel really sick. I am exhausted. And even though I do bring grounding crystals, because that's tip number 5, bring a grounding crystal with you. You want to have something, whether it's black tourmaline, lodestone, whatever it is you like to use for grounding, you want to have that on you, okay? I wear an anklet. I just find that works really great. Or you could put something in your pocket. You do want to make sure that you're grounded when you're doing this shopping. Trust me, it could be really intense and insane. But I don't like to go overly full of crystals. Like I don't wear all kinds of crystal jewelry when I go because that's just going to add to the intent, to the intensity of the whole experience. Plus, I don't want to like mix up energies and all that kind of stuff. So just some simple grounding crystal to keep you grounded, okay? Number 6. Go early. This year at the New Jersey gem show, I was the first person to walk in the gem show. I know, crazy, insane. I was the first person to walk in, and because you know why? Because I was really nice to the guard that was monitoring all the doors. There were several ways in. And I was really nice to the guard, whereas other people were like yelling, like, how come they're not letting us in? And blah, blah, blah. They were like being really, really mean. And so I was just really nice. I'm like, oh, well, I'm just going to stand here and maybe you'll pick us first, And so our door got opened first. And I was the first person to go on in, and they were taking pictures. And I'm trying to find the pictures. I haven't been able to find the pictures. They were taking pictures of the first people to go in. So I have to see if I can find them and show you guys. It was so exciting to be the first person to walk in. I'll put a picture up of what it looked like when I walked in. It was like, oh, crystals and no people. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so go really early on the first day. Try to get there as early as you can to beat the crowd. It makes a big difference. And if they have a Friday, a non-weekend day, and you can do that, I highly recommend that you do that. The other tip is to go late. You can also go like on a Sunday or the last day of the show to get those bargains, especially if you're not looking for anything in particular and you're just going and you want to get a good deal and you want to just use your intuition and just see what you can find and you're not really looking for something specific. Go like in the last couple hours of the show and make deals, because the vendors are going to want to get rid of their stash. They're going to be more prone to make deals with you than they are in the first hour or two when they first open. All right, so keep that in mind. If you're looking for stuff in particular, when I go shopping, I'm looking for stuff from my store, so I'd like to go early, beat the crowd. I'm getting wholesale prices anyway, so I'm not as concerned. But if you're as a consumer and you're like, oh, maybe I'll just find a nice piece of citrine or whatever, and you're just kind of going with the flow, I would go at the end and try to make deals if you're looking to save some money. You're not going to have as big a selection, but you probably will get better deals on that later, the last couple hours of the show. Number 7, scope out the joint. When you walk in, all the crystals. All right, and then you walk in and it's just like, oh my gosh, where do I go? Now, a lot of these gem shows do have maps. So while you're waiting online to get in, grab that map and you can look, because if you're looking, for example, if you're looking for moldavite or you're looking for turquoise or whatever, you're looking for something particular, or large quartz or whatever, salt lamps, you can look on the little map, and certain vendors sell certain things. You might find a vendor that sells only salt lamps, and so you might just go right there first. You know what I'm saying? So while you're waiting online, take a look at the map. If you're like me, have your reading glasses or your magnifying glass to look at the map to help you figure out where you're going to go first. So if you're looking for something particular, then go to a vendor that sells that particular item that specializes in it. All right, and you can check that out on the little map before you go in. Also, you can look online before you go, because many of these gem shows will actually list all the vendors before you go. So you can do your research before you even go to see if that vendor looks interesting to you, because some of them have websites. Not all of them do, but some of them will have websites, and you can go check out that vendor before you even get there to get the scoop before you even go in. I know. That's that whole do your research before you go thing, okay? And then the other tip too is to go counterclockwise, or go against where everybody else is going. So if everybody's all filing and they're waiting online, they go in, the doors open, and oftentimes people will start to just kind of roam to the right. It's like this natural thing to go to the right and go around that way. Go the opposite direction. So if you see everybody going this way, you go that way. Go the opposite way, start backwards. They say that works too when you go to the zoo or when you go food shopping, go to the opposite direction first. It's less crowded for some reason. Okay, so you might want to give that a try if there's a big crowd. Number 8. This is a really big tip too, and I've heard other people say this, and I totally agree with this. Leave the woo-woo at home. No metaphysical woo-woo. What we're doing when we go there and we're all into the spirituality and healing crystals, what happens is we are educating the sellers to be more metaphysical, and then they up their prices. All right, a lot of these people are just regular rock people, and now our community, our spiritual community, is putting a label on this stuff, and we're making it more valuable, and they're upping the price on stuff. It's kind of too late in a sense, because mostly everybody's caught on to us crystal people and our crystallicious beliefs about stuff. And so a lot of the prices have gone up just because of the metaphysical woo-woo stuff and the background stories on things. If they find this crystal on this certain mountain, it has this magical power. We have that. We're just giving them ammunition to charge us more money. All right, so leave that at home. Okay, keep that to yourself. You want to be really careful with that. Yeah, I was just wondering, what crystals do you recommend for the third eye? I need to open my third eye. Number 9, use your intuition. So now when you're out there shopping and you have all these choices, you really at that moment have to just really trust your intuition and know that you're going to make the right decision for you. even if you did all that research before and you're thinking, oh, I need this crystal for that, or I need petrified wood for past life recall, and I need, green aventurine for healing, or whatever the case may be, and you have your list of things that you want and things that you need, you have to trust your intuition that at that moment you're going to find the one that is right for you. And I'll give you a story. I went to a gem show one year, like literally with about 10 items on my list, and I got one thing from that list. Everything else was just totally off the cuff, and I use every single one of those pieces, and I have just amazing experiences with those particular pieces that I got, because you just have to trust yourself at that moment that you're going to know if it's right for you. And if you're questioning whether you should get it or not, then maybe don't get it. I recommend that you don't, that you move on to the next vendor. And then if it's right, it'll still be there. And I had that happen with this Lemurian. It was still there 2 days later when I went back. But it was for me, and I knew it was for me. And I've shown you guys pictures of some of them, of some of these, of this particular piece, and it's just an incredible piece that I just totally resonated with, and I just had amazing experiences with it. So you kind of have to go with what what you feel, and trust your instinct if it's right for you. Okay, trust yourself. Use that intuition. Also, your physical sensations. You want to trust your physical sensations. So you get the tingles and things like that. Now, when you're at a gem show, it's kind of hard to like, feel the energy. I'm going to feel that energy. Let me warm up my natties, and I'm going to feel that energy. You kind of look kind of dorky. Not that you care, but it's kind of hard to do that unless you're early and you have that time, and then again you got that vendor who's looking at you and as you're feeling the crystals. So try to be subtle about it. Pick up the crystal, put it in your hand, see if it feels right. Does it fit your palm? If you're looking to hold it, see how it feels. Do it that way. Be discreet about it. Don't be overly like I said, leave the woo-woo behind. So be as discreet as you can to see if you can feel it. Oftentimes too, just by appearance, you might just know, and it just might click. You might get the chills, you might get a little voice saying yes, you might get something like that. So trust yourself, trust your body, trust your inner knowing, and the sensations that you get. That will definitely help you when you're selecting your crystals. Number 10, shop smart. Be a smart crystal shopper. Kind of hard to do with crystals because you just kind of like want everything. But if it's too good to be true, then it probably isn't true. If you're buying a piece of turquoise and it's like really, really big piece of turquoise and it's only $5, it's like, yeah, I don't think so. So be careful, be smart. You don't want to waste your money on something that's fake, that's not real. If it's just too good to be true, then it probably is because it's fake. Okay, and it's not always the case. There are some times when vendors are trying to get rid of their stock, and they might lower prices and whatever, but just be really cautious. Don't get it if you're not 100% sure of what you're getting. And if it feels funky to you, don't get it, because then you either have to try to return it, which in some cases I have returned items. I've gotten stuff that I'm like, no, I don't think so. Now that I look at it with my little magnifying glass, no, so be smart about it, and just be careful when you're shopping. Number 11, make deals. A lot of these vendors will bargain with you. Well, if you're buying wholesale, you do need a wholesale license. You need a resale license, but you can also make deals with people who are not wholesalers. And even if you are not selling, you could still make deals and buy, like, maybe, how much can I get if I get 3? Can I get a little discount if I get 3 or 5? Or sometimes you can ask to buy the whole flat. Like a lot of times they'll put out like a thing of minerals and it'll be like $10 a mineral. There might be 10 pieces in there. And so like if they were to sell every piece in there, they would have $100, right? So you could say, hey, I'll buy this whole flat for $75. and see if they bite. You could do something like that. You may not want all those crystals, but maybe you can give them as gifts or whatever. But you're getting a really good deal. The more you buy, the better deal you're getting. So keep that in mind. And that happened to me at the last gem show I went to. They had uh, a whole bunch of Danburite out, and that's in my showcase, the Danburite, and I got a really good deal on it because they were selling it per piece, and I said, no, I'll buy the whole flat, but I wasn't going to pay the full price, and they didn't want to do it at first. It was really funny because I was like, I don't know, I have to ask the owner, and I'm like, really? I'm going to take that whole flat right off your hands. I guess because they made a little bit of less money, but still, I bought the whole flat instead of piece by piece. So, and I ended up getting it, by the way. Yeah, I got a wheel and deal a little bit. Right, and that was at the end of my shopping experience, so it was kind of like at the end of the day kind of thing. All right, so make those deals, try to bargain, and see what you can get. Number 12. Don't be afraid to ask questions. A lot of times we don't want to ask questions. We don't want to bother people. We just kind of want to get our thing. But you have to ask questions. Where is your crystal from? You want to know where it's from. You want to know what inclusions. A lot of times you'll pick up a nice piece of quartz and there'll be all kinds of inclusions in it, and you may not know what it is. Ask questions. They don't always know. I don't always know every single aspect of the crystals I buy either. Sometimes there's a mystery mineral on the outside that I can't identify, or sometimes you can't tell really what it is inside unless it has a specific characteristic. But still ask, because you can get some information that way. You want to know where your crystal's from and all that. So ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. All right? And number 13. Huge. This is huge. Like I said, those little sticky notes and labels, label your crystals when you get them, especially if you're getting like a bunch of them and you don't remember when you get home. You're like, oh my god, and then you write me and you're like, Kim, I just got this crystal, what is it? I'm like, why don't you ask the vendor? I'm not trying to be mean or nasty about it, but the vendor's the one that would know, the person that you got it from, okay? Because you can't always tell by a picture. So make sure you write down the name of your crystal so that you remember when you get home, because trust me, you forget. Some of these crystals have big ass names and you can forget, or sometimes they look alike. Okay, so be really careful with that. That's what the little stickies are for. Stick it on there. Okay. Also, when you buy your crystals from a vendor, get that business card. And they don't always give you a receipt. So if you can get a receipt, get the receipt. Ask for it. You want to have their number, their name, so that you can contact them if there's a problem with your crystal. If you all of a sudden bring it home and it breaks and you realize that it was glued together or whatever the case may be, you want to be able to contact that vendor and be like, hey, what the heck? You want to be able to talk to them about your purchase, especially at a gem show. If you're buying online, you remember where you got it and you can contact the person. But when at a gem show, you'll be like, I don't remember, I just got it at the gem show. So take their business card, always. Keep your separate purchases. So if you're buying from separate vendors, so you buy 3 crystals from vendor number, letter A, put that in one bag with the business card so that you know that you got those pieces from that vendor. So when you have questions, you can contact that vendor. If you have to get a refund, or you have a question about an inclusion or where it's from, or you forgot to ask a question, you can contact them directly. We forget to do this. It's really important. Trust me. It's happened to me. So make sure you get that information. Just stick it in the bag with the crystals. And if they don't have business cards, just at least write down the name. Sometimes I'll take a picture of their display or something, just so I remember that too. Number 14. Take your time. Don't rush the crystalliciousness. Enjoy it. Enjoy the experience. Take time. You don't have to go and be crazy about it. Okay, just take your time. Shop slowly. Browse. There's so much to look at. Take pictures, especially if ones you're not going to be able to get, the $5,000 ginormous quartz clusters. Take pictures, bring it back so we can all drool over them, because we know we're never going to get that. So enjoy it. Take your time. Take it slow. It can be very overwhelming. So take breaks. Have a snack. Drink a lot of water. I got my little water thing over here, see? Drink a lot of water because that helps with the energy. Okay. Last but certainly not least is number 15. Rip this up. This whole list. Rip it. Rip it. Rip it. Rip it. Because when you go crystal shopping, all that matters is that you enjoy, have fun, use your intuition, just enjoy the moment, be in the now, forget everything else I said, just go and soak in all that crystalliciousness and have a great time. That's the most important thing in there. So I hope this list helps you. These are just from my experience of shopping and going to the gem shows. So you just want to go and really enjoy it. But I do recommend you be prepared and, try to stay grounded and don't go overboard if you can, because you can get a little crazy with all of that energy and the excitement and stuff. It can be very overwhelming. So the more prepared you are, the better. But I hope this helps you. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me. And if you haven't done so already, please take a moment to subscribe, share, like, comment, do all that good stuff if you like this video. I really appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in today. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. Bye.